No, I'm not wondering anymore. Whoa, look at the way it snows. Whenever you go away, I think I found out how you won the game. Haven't you heard it? Bet TikTok, you went to fame. There's no one to blame, nothing to say. It isn't the same no more, no more.
Well, good day, everyone. My name is Don Smith. I am a Sony and Singh-Ray Ambassador, longtime landscape photographer, sports photographer, and for the past 16 years, a photo instructor, teaching my own workshops and traveling around the world with other colleagues such as Gary Hart and Ron Madra. And before I get going, my wife, Barry, has reminded me she handles all the correspondence for us when it comes to signing up for workshops. She wanted to let you know that this September we have a fantastic workshop that's scheduled in the Grand Tetons. We've done this a number of years now, and I'm surprised it's not sold out, but she told me it still isn't. If you've ever wanted to be in the park, the Grand Tetons, you get about a 2-week window in the fall, and we place our workshop right when we're at about peak or just prior to peak color. And it's fantastic. We have some openings. You can click on my website or send Barry or I an email, don@donsmithphotography.com. It'll all be below in the show notes, and we'll get you set up. Also in December, we have 1 or 2 openings left for our late fall Big Sur. This is a workshop I used to do where we feature, the incredible keyhole arch and that beautiful shaft of orange light. I know you've all seen those pictures. If not, you can go on my website and check them out. We time this workshop right at the optimum time where we can go get that shaft of light, and along with all the other beauty that Big Sur has to offer. At that time of year, there's no fog, and better than that, there's no crowds. So we hope you can join us on that. That'll be in early December. And then in March, we're half sold out, but we still have 6 spots remaining for our Lofoten Islands that I teach with Ron Madra. By the way, Ron will be with me in Big Sur, and Kurt Fargo will be with me in Grand Teton because Ron's off in Ireland doing a workshop that's sold out. So he won't be able to make it out to Grand Teton this year, but Kurt's a great instructor. Bring your cameras. He's like the leading person in this country that I know of on how to clean cameras, and he's going to do a session with you and even clean a couple of your cameras at no charge. So those are the great workshops that are coming up. So shoot us an email again, don@donsmithphotography.com. We'll get you more info, or you can just go on my website, www.donsmithphotography.com. Click on the left side where it says workshops, and it'll take you to all the workshops we're currently offering. Okay, so let's take a look at this new remove tool in Photoshop. Is it incredible? I've spent 4 hours this morning playing with it, and it's knocked my socks off. I've thrown some hard images at it, some easy images. I just kept ramping it up, and I've got all those images here to share with you today. Simple tool to use, extremely powerful. So let's get to work. So let's take a look at the new tool in Photoshop. You can see I have all of my Tony Kuiper panels up, and if you are interested in the Tony Kuiper panels, I am now an affiliate with Tony. I can get you 15% off if you use my code at checkout, which is DS15. I'll also leave that in the notes, capital D, capital S, 15, and you'll get 15% off not only the panels, but all the great training videos by Sean Bagshaw that are up there. And I can tell you, he's an awesome teacher, especially when it comes to these panels. I've learned a lot over the years from Sean, and I've been with these panels since version 2, and we are now up to version 8. So that's what you see over on my right-hand side. So we're not here to talk about the panels. We are here to talk about the remove tool, and I have to get my toolbox up, and I'm going to come to window and come down to tools. And when you upgrade, this kind of moved my Tony Kuiper stuff around. So you say, first thing is, where is this new toolbox or remove tool? Excuse me. It's in right here. If I click with this fly out window, this you can see all the legacy ones are in here. Spot healing brush, the remove tool, the healing brush tool, the patch tool, which I actually love that tool. Content aware move tool, another great one for landscape. So let's take a look at this incredible new remove tool. If you come up here, you're going to see a red dot on this little icon. You guys are all used to that if you've been with the Creative Cloud for any amount of time. And if you're not going to get any of these great tools, these new AI tools that have been coming down the pipe. And, you know, I still to this day, I want to throw in this little disclaimer. I still have people coming into my workshop saying, Don, I've got Photoshop 6. And I'm like, I don't even know how that works anymore. And I just don't want to go to the cloud. Well, you know what, guys? We used to pay, back in the day, $300 or $350 every upgrade from Adobe, and every upgrade came every 18 months. So if you work the math out, it's now $9.99, and you're getting Lightroom and Photoshop. Well worth it. I mean, I think nowadays we're all used to just paying for these updates. So it's the only way you're going to get these tools. So where have they put the new remove tool? Well, you're going to come in here where the spot healing brush is, or whatever your last patching tool, or not patching tool, but what's the word I want to use? You know, your cloning tools. That's where they're going to have it. And it is second one down on mine. And I think you can type the J key, will bring it up, and you can cycle through them. So on this one, I'm going to just show you, I'm going to create what I actually encourage you to do. You can see my goal here is to remove these rocks on these little, this is a type of a jelly. It's not an actual stinging jelly. If you do pick it up, it will irritate your skin. It's called Velella. And we've had thousands of these washing up on the shore over the last couple of weeks here in Central California, all up and down the coast. And they're just incredible. And I was out for a walk, just had my iPhone one day, and thought, you know, wow, this is cool. Put the phone down on the ground and got really close. And they're just beautiful. But I didn't like how these rocks had stuck to them. So I'm going to turn on this layer, and then we're going to actually go through the tool. And with the magic of the remove tool, you can see I took those rocks right out of there, and it probably took less than a minute. So let me trash, well, I'm not going to trash this layer. I'm going to just turn it off. For those of you that don't have the Tony Kuiper, I am going to come up here to layer, new layer, and you can do this non-destructively. You can see this isn't a duplicate layer, it's a non-pixel layer. And then you can see when I hover in here, if I tap my right key, my left key, this is the remove tool. Now, before we get started, because I've had you on a second layer, make sure that you have sample all layers. If this is off, you want to put a check mark in there. And you could put a check mark here, remove on each erase. So I could do this. And this is how I started. And I think this is how it comes by default. But then I realized I don't want to sit there and wait for every one. So what I'm going to do is we're going to come back in here. Excuse me. And we're just going to go to all of these that I want to erase. And you can see I'm not being super careful. That's one of the cool things about this. That I'm going to leave alone. Let's get these rocks down here. Let's get these rocks off of here. And have I missed any anywhere? I don't think so. So now I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to hit the check mark. And it'll take a little bit longer depending on your computer power, and off you go. So that's how easy it is, guys. It's let's move on to another one now. This is also was taken with an iPhone, and wanted to get my big fat finger out of the way. So I'll do it one more time. This time I'm going to come to the bottom of Tony's and add a layer. I'm so used to working with this, and I'm just going to brush over my finger there, and we'll hit the little check button, and voila, it's gone. Isn't this amazing? I mean, the speed. Look at this. Let's just zoom up here and the cool thing is that kind of got it. It's a little bit there. So I can go back to the remove tool. Of course, we're going to have to size this down. And I'm just going to run it along that edge. Well, I didn't have it on automatically. I got to click it. And look at that. Isn't that incredible? That is, okay, so those are two really simple ones. You've kind of gotten the feel now for how to work it. So let's go on to the next one. See if we can ramp up the difficulty. Now, I'm not going to go through each one of these and show you exactly what I did, but you can see that I have put layers in, and we're going to walk you through a layer at a time. So what I did here is I selected the sky, and then I inverted it and to work on this foreground here. And if I click this mask, you're going to see where the marching ants are on that, okay? But before I went to work, well, I didn't. That one, I guess I did not end up using. So I could trash that, but we'll go to the next one. And I actually worked on the sky first, so I take it back. I did not work. And that was just done with the remove tool. Let me turn it back off so you can see what I did. We had some contrails. This was late in the day after the sun had set. We had this kind of ugly cross cloud coming in with a little hook. I had this tree over here I didn't want because I was nipping it over here. I'm a real freak about nipping things on the edges of my frame. So I just took it out. Okay, now I did a stamp visible tool or a stamp visible layer, which is Shift, Option, Command, and E. If you can stretch your fingers, or if you have the Tony Kuiper panel, you can come right here and just click that in one button and you can stamp everything. So now I took that, I created a sky mask, and then I flipped it for the foreground, and I lightened up and added a little bump of contrast down there. So you can see as I'm turning it on and off. Look at what a great job that masking does for us in either Lightroom or Photoshop. And then the last one I added with that same mask, I did a little selective color, and just to bring the blues up just a bit and a little bit of the reds out of the rock. So we went from this, which I originally posted the picture, and came up to this. This is, by the way, if I didn't mention it, out in Joshua Tree National Park. Okay, let's ramp up the difficulty. Another image from, Joshua Tree National Park. This, we had come out to this area to scout earlier in the day, and with photo pills, I loved how we had these blooming cactus right in front. This one bush is a cactus, multiple would be cacti, I believe. But I had these ugly rocks here, one there. We had some ground over here where the sun was shafting I didn't like. On the edge of the frame here, I had another cholla cactus coming in that I didn't want. I had these striations in the sky here. Over here, you can see a few more cactus poking in right there, but not to fear. This is going to blow you away. I'm going to turn it on. This took me all of about 3 minutes to clean that up. Let me go back and on. I also had flare. This is what's great. Look at this blob of flare. Content-aware fill has never ever been able to tackle two things, in my opinion: flare and water droplets. I've always told people on workshop, if it's raining or sprinkling, keep wiping your lens in between each time you pull the cloth away. You got to click, because a water droplet now will ruin it. I don't have any pictures with water droplets on it, unfortunately, because I do a first edit on all my stuff. And if it's got a water droplet, it's gone. Well, learned my lesson, didn't I? I've probably thrown out some really good pictures. But isn't this incredible? And then once it was done, I looked up in the sky and saw a few more things that I wanted to take out. So you can see I just I took these two little guys out, that guy. I think I took all of that out, pulled that down a little, all just so effortlessly and seamless. So let's turn the layers off. I'm, by the way, hitting Option and clicking on the eyeballs. That was one I really worked on, but I just couldn't post it as that. I did post another one, and to me, this is just amazing. Look at the rocks gone. I could not get this rock or that rock out. Watch the shafts of light on this side. It's just incredible. Even these little, let me turn this off again, where I would just hit with content-aware fill or the spot healing brush. There was another rock right here. Just amazing. Just amazing. Like within a couple minutes, I was able to do this. Okay, let's move along. Aha. Now, I went back in my files to start finding some really old stuff. This is in Pacific Grove, California, the Monterey Peninsula. And this is what they call echinacea, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And it blooms in the spring along with this flowering ice plant that they got up there. But I love the composition. I hated this dead branch. How many times have we had tree limbs or branches come in? Now, let's count the amount of layers I did here. I did 10 additions to this, and we're just going to walk through. This was this morning, so I don't remember quite what I did, but I got the majority of that bush out. You're going to still see some branches, and we're going to tackle those later. But the main nagging element over the years that I would never put this image out there was always that. I just couldn't get it out. Now I can. We've got this little dead part over here, and I think this is what's coming up next. Yeah, I just simply brushed over that rock. It sampled what was around it, and it filled it in. Okay, let's go to this one. This is this area up in here. The cool thing, see how it kind of smudges this in here? And I'm new with this. I'm finding if you push up towards the smudge, and I didn't know that when I was working on that, but it got it a lot better. Now I know you want to come from what you want it to clone to what you want it to clone over. Okay, let's go on to the next one. I filled in this area back here with dead branches. I'll turn that off. And I'll turn it on again, excuse me. We'll come up to the next one. I completed it up here. I didn't like the light tones on that sandstone there. You can see it was kind of barren in there. That's just sandstone and the way the sun was hitting it. It was tugging my eye up over in there. So I just cloned it in. And let's go to layer 7, see what I did there. Say goodbye, you guys, to dead barren ground. That's always been a tough one. I don't know how many times I've taken the content aware tool and tried to just put it in, and this just did an amazing job. That was first time out. I didn't even go back and rework that. Okay, let's go to layer 8, see what I did there. I missed a little bit down in here, so I just touched it up. You can see that and that. There was a dead leaf or a dead piece of plant right there. Took care of that. What did I do on layer 9? This is where I went in and took these little dead branches out. See how easy that was? I just lowered the size of the brush, just drew over it, and took them right out. And then lastly, let me turn that on, number 10. I'm not seeing where number 10 is. Maybe you guys are. But by the way, before we move on, you're going to see this down on the bottom where it's going to say select subject. This is using the object selection tool And I haven't really played with this. You can transform a portion of your image, which I think is really cool. Then you can click here and it'll put an adjustment layer up with whatever you want to adjust. And it will also bring out the properties panel for you. So it's just really cool what they've done here. Okay, we've got one more for you. And how many of you have been out to the sand dunes at Death Valley or wherever? And I've actually done videos on this with frequency separation to get those nagging footprints out of the sand, right? You're out there at first light. This is sunrise light on the Mesquite Dunes of Death Valley. I got these little stubbies up over here. This is just a raw file. I've never, ever processed this. This is still not a finished process image. This is just pretty much adjusting the basic panel in Lightroom, adding a profile to it and moving it in. So the first layer, I take those guys out real easy. That could come out with content aware, but it just made it so simple. The next layer, I started to work on the footprints here. Now, I'm going to pass along a little bit because when I first, let me take that off, put it back on. This was before I realized I was kind of pushing the brush this way and then pulling it that way, trying to do it in one fell swoop. Well, because we have shadows here and different patterns, I had to break this up. So I trashed all those layers. I went back, just worked on this line right here in the shadow, got that out. Then number two, I came over to this bottom right corner. I'm going to turn that off and on and just work there. Now everything else is pretty much, other than that, out in the sunshine. So you can see I work the long strip through there. See how simple this stuff is? And then the last one, we're going to go and get what's remaining there. And voila. I'm still stoked just going back over this. I think this has to be one of the greatest upgrades in the history of Adobe. I'm going to go on record and say that. It takes a lot to get me excited about things. Okay, let's add one more here because I'm just seeing something here. How about if we want to just take this guy out right there? Let's see what it does. We're doing this live. Voila. I mean, isn't that something? And it even held the darkness and tone, the shadow, whatever that was right there, it held it. I mean, that's just incredible. I would leave these guys in. I kind of like them. So that's it, you guys. That probably if you've made it to this far, good on you, because I would be running to install this right now. Again, you come up here, you go to its Photoshop version 25.5, and it says, this update contains new features to improve workflows. No fooling. Including the remove tool, adjustment presets, which I haven't even gotten to play with yet, contextual talk bar and updated, contextual taskbar and updated gradients. I haven't played with any of that because I just got swamped with this and wanted to pass it on to you guys. So there it is. Get some of those older pictures out, especially. I mean, the first thing I thought of was going to Death Valley and grabbing some of these old pictures. And you can see it works on cell phone pictures. It works on images that are TIFFs. It works on RAWs. Boy, get it out, have some fun, and clean up those images. Hey, so until next time, I hope you guys will send us an email and join us in one of those 3 workshops. That's the only 3 that we currently have open all the way until next spring. Stay tuned because we may be, well, not maybe, we're going to have some surprises for you guys coming down the line here. Subscribe to this channel. You can also go to my website, Don at donsmithphotography.com. Click on my blog and add your email, and when my blog's released, you'll get it. You don't have to come back looking for it because that is separate from my e-newsletter that you're seeing this on. Well, I hope I've whetted your appetite for just how powerful this new remove tool is. I can already see you guys scrambling for your pictures as I did this morning and pulling out those almost got it pictures. or even going back to some of your favorites and removing some of those elements we just couldn't do with Content Aware or Clone Stamp Tool. And we're doing it in seconds instead of hours, minutes or hours that it used to take with the other tools. So great tool. I'm glad to have shared this with you. I have been getting some emails. Hey, Don, are you ever going to do the review on the new noise reduction tool in Lightroom? And I am. If you know, I did a video on where I compared all the leading third-party softwares, and I will be getting that video out just as quickly as I can. So until next time, this is Don Smith. Get out there, keep creating, and you guys all take care.